Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思吃都还难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, and joining me today is our old friend Tony Reid. Hello, Tony.
Old friend. I don't know about old friend, but yeah. How's it going, everybody? It's a pleasure to be here and looking forward to taking away some Chinese today.
Yeah, Tony, so do you have like a favorite place in Beijing that you love to hang about for the weekends or just for a short trip?
Favorite place? Well, I'm kind of a foodie, so I like to go to the CBD area. So like maybe around the Guomao.
Very posh.
Yeah, go to like a restaurant there and eat. So yeah, that's my favorite place.
Yeah, so my favorite place is more like on the traditional end. Like I really like to go to the old places, like the Palace Museum yeah, it's like one of my favorite places in Beijing.
There's too many people going there.
Yeah, and they're crowded, but I think it's also like part of the reason why they're very attractive. That's why that many people want to go to those places because, well, they're huge in space. Even though with the crowds, you can't really feel the crowd sometimes if you know the place really well. Like for the Summer Palace, there are always some hidden places in that big park that you can reserve for yourself and for your crowd. So that's why I love about those places. There's always something new to discover traveling there.
If you say so.
But for this episode, we definitely have a small dialogue about planning of hanging around in the city and how do they go there and how do they make the plan.
Okay, so like how to get around the city, how to go here, how to go there, and how to ask questions, right?
Yes. Let's have a listen first.
星期六我们一起去故宫吧。
好啊，别忘了提前订票。不过我们该怎么去呢？
我们可以先坐地铁9号线，再换乘1号线，在天安门西站下车。地铁站里有自助购票机，买票也很方便。
没问题，我们尽量早点出发，可以多逛一会儿。
So Tony, what do you feel about the dialogue? Something you feel confused?
I think this is quite useful. It's instructions on like how to get here and there using public transportation, and I think this is very commonplace when we're trying to like get places in the city and someone is giving advice and this type of thing. So yeah, quite useful.
Definitely. So sentence by sentence first. 星期六我们一起去故宫吧。
That is, let's go to the Forbidden City together on Saturday. So this first one is a new one for me. The 星期六. I shouldn't be. I think this is like a day of a week, isn't it?
Yes, 星期六, which is Saturday.
Saturday, right. And then it's 我们一起. So 我们 is we. And then 一起, I think this is like together. Right?
Yes.
And then you have 去, which is go. And then 故宫 is the Forbidden City. And then 吧. I think 吧 is kind of like a soft way of telling someone to do something.
Yes, I think in this case, it's an informal and polite way and soft way to give out suggestions. If you ask that in a question sentence, it would be, how about we go into the Forbidden City on Saturday? And the next one, 好啊，别忘了提前订票.
So this is cool or okay. Don't forget to book the tickets in advance. So, hawa, I think this is like an agreement sound, like saying good or okay or cool. And then 别忘了. So this is don't forget.
别 is the second tone. 别忘了.
Yeah. 别忘了. This is 别 is don't, and then 忘 and 了 is to forget. And then 提前, this is like advance, right?
Yeah, in advance.
And then ding piao, I think that's the ticket. Anytime I see the word, the sound piao, I think it reminds me of ticket. So.
Of any ticket, of course. Yeah. Ding is to book. Piao is tickets. It can refers to the ticket to the tourism attractions or to the buses or subways or even the movie theaters. So any tickets is 票, 订票. And then 不过我们该怎么去呢?
So this is, but how will we get there? 不过, I think this is another way of saying but, right?
Yes. 不过.
Because there's another way to say but. It's 但是 is also another way of saying but. 不过我们, this is we, and then 该, it means like should, or this is a shorter form of 应该, right?
Yes.
Which is like should or ought to.
Yes.
And then 怎么 is how, and then 去 is go, and then 呢 is the question sound.
Excellent. And then we have a longer sentence following 我们可以先坐地铁9号线，再换乘1号线，在天安门西站下车。
So this is, we can take subway line 9 first, then transfer to line 1 and get off at Tiananmen Xi or Tiananmen West Station.
Yes.
So 我们 is we, 可以 is can, 先坐地铁. DTA is subway,
yes.
So I'm assuming that 先坐 is subway line.
先 means first. 坐 is like take or sit. So we can take the subway. You can understand 地铁9号线 together. The subway line 9.
DTA is subway and 9 is 9. And then 号线, I believe, is that the line?
Yeah, it's the lines in Beijing are all named by numbers. 9号线 is line 9. 1号线 is line 1.
Okay. And then 在 is like at, right?
在 is kind of like then, after they take line 9 of the subway. Then they transfer 换乘 another line.
换乘, is this like transfer?
Yeah.
And then 1号线, so I think that's the subway line 1, right?
Yes.
And then 在, I think this is another way, like you said, then Tiananmen, that's the location. And then Xi means west. And then 站.
Yeah, it's kind of a complicated sentence, this one. 天安门西站 is the station name. The station name is 天安门西. And then we have the 站 as the station.
站 means station.
Yes.
Okay. And then 下车. Xia means to get off.
Yes.
So
get off the subway. So we have like two 在s in this sentence, which is quite confusing, especially I think for our listeners, they don't have the written form in front of them. The first 在 it means then. And the second 在天安门西站下车, which is actually means at. They sound the same,
okay,
but they're written differently, so it means differently. First, we have the 先, they first take a line, 在, then they transfer to another line, and finally, 在 this station to get off. 在这一站下车. There is a sequence here. You can first go there, then go there, then that's your destination. 先在 with another 在 in the end. Yeah, it's like a little complicated. And then 地铁站里有自助购票机，买票也很方便。
So there are self-service ticket machines in the subway station. So buying tickets is easy. 地铁 is subway, and then 站, which we just discussed, is station.
Yeah.
And then we have 里有 or li, which is inside.
Yeah.
And then we have yo, which means like have or it's there, exists, right?
Yeah.
And then
it's a long noun here. 自助购票机.
购票机. So 自助, I believe that's self-service, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And then 购票, again, 票 means ticket.
购.
But I think 购 is that machine.
Is like buy. 购票机. 机 is machine.
No, 机 is machine. Okay.
It's like the 自助 self-service 购 buying 票 ticket 机 machine.
Okay. So the next word is 买票, and that makes sense as buy ticket because 买 is buy, and then 票 is ticket, and then 也 means like also, right?
Yeah.
And then 很 is very, and then 方便, I think that means convenient or easy. Yeah?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we have two buys here. The first one is 购, the second one is 买. Well, I think 购 is more formal way of saying buy. You can see that on like the machine name or any formal name. But in colloquial language, in speaking language, daily conversations, 买 is the way of saying buy.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen 买票, but 购票I haven't seen. But they mean the same thing, right?
They mean the same thing. It's just 购 sounds more formal. So that's why on like the names of equipment and facilities, they will use 购 instead of 买 because 购 sounds sophisticated and formal. 没问题，我们尽量早点出发，可以多逛一会儿。
Okay, so I think that's no problem. Let's try to set out earlier so we could hang out there for a little bit longer. So 没问题. So this means no problem. 问题 is problem, and then 没 means no, right?
It's quite straightforward.
Right. And then 我们 is we, and then 尽量, right? This is like my best. Is that what that means?
Like try the best. 尽量.
And then 早点. 早 means early, and then 点 is like a bit, like a little bit, like 一点点, right? Means a little bit. Okay, and then I think we have 出发. That means set out.
Yes.
And then 可以 is can. 多, I think that's more, right?
Yeah.
And then 逛, I think that's long or longer.
逛 actually means hang out or just hang out that place. Walk around.
Okay.
Yeah. 多逛一会儿 is a hang out a bit longer.
So wait, 多逛 means more.
Hang
and
out
then
more.
逛means hang out. Okay, so hang out more.
Yeah. So they can.
That's the full phrase. Okay.
Yeah.
And then 一会儿, I think that just means later, right?
一会儿 means, well, I think in this sentence, 多 and 一会儿 can be understood together as a bit longer. 逛一会儿 is like hang out a while, hang out for a while. And then 多逛一会儿 is like hang out for a longer period of time.
Yeah, that's odd because like I'm familiar with saying 一会儿见, which means see you later.
Yes.
Right?
See you in a while. I think that's the more direct translation. 一会儿 can be also used as 等我一会儿. Wait me for a while or for a bit.
All right.
So, do you want to give the whole dialogue a go?
Yeah, I think I can do B if you do A.
没问题。星期六我们一起去故宫吧。
好啊，别忘了提前订票。不过我们该怎么去呢？
我们可以先坐地铁9号线，再换乘1号线，在天安门西站下车。地铁站里有自助购票机，买票也很方便。
没问题，我们尽量早点出发， 可以多逛一会儿。
You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Fei Fei and Tony Reid. We'd love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. And for more fun Chinese learning, you can also follow us on Facebook by searching Learn Chinese to watch many fun videos and live streams. And coming up next, let's learn more about how to get around the city. 在城市里出行. Don't go away, so you'll take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, joined by Tony Reid. We just had a little dialogue about a plan to hang out in the city over the weekend, and I think we talked about where to go, when to go, and how to get there. And Tony, one of the interesting points here, I think, is about how to say the days of the week.
Yeah, 星期六, I think that's Saturday, as we discussed earlier.
Yes, the way we name our days of week is very different from English.
Yes, very different.
Right? So 星期 means week.
Yeah, but I think this way is actually a little bit easier now that I look at it because on one hand, in English, everything is day, 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 day. And it's just the beginning is different. But in Chinese, it just goes by numbers. So if you know the numbers, then it's actually quite easy. You just need to remember 星期一, which is the first day of the week, which is Monday. And then 星期二 is Tuesday, right?
It's the fourth one. 星期二 is Tuesday.
Okay. And then 星期三,
Yeah.
that's the third one, right?
Yes.
But the one I think is a little challenging is the seventh day, Sunday.
Sunday is 星期日. Yeah, can be confusing. Why not 星期七, right? Why not use the word 7? But instead, for Sunday, we call it 星期日.
Oh, the R sound is the most complicated for me. How about 星期天? How about
Yeah,
that?
星期天 also makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'll go with that one. That one's
Yeah.
a little bit easier.
I think for Chinese, our first day of the week is 星期一, which is Monday. But I think for English speakers, some of them would take Sunday as the first day of the week.
Yeah, it really depends on who you ask and their, I guess, almost like their belief system. I grew up hearing or knowing that Saturday was actually the seventh day of the week. And yeah, Sunday is the first. So yeah, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah. But for Chinese, the first day of the week is Monday, which is 星期一. That's also why we call it 1 instead of other numbers.
So if I want to say today is, tomorrow is, do I need to say 是 or is that omitted? For example, 今天是星期五.
今天是星期五. Today is Friday. It's a perfect sentence.
Okay. Is that also omitted as well?
Sometimes, yes. For example, 明天星期五. Tomorrow is Friday. But in Chinese, we don't say the is, 是. We just say 明天星期五, which also makes perfect sense. So you can have the 是 here, and you can also omit it. It doesn't really matters, especially in speaking.
All right. So then it's optional. It's not necessary.
今天星期三, today, Wednesday. 明天星期四, tomorrow, Thursday.
All right. That's good to know.
And then another one I think you also asked a little bit about is about 别忘了. Don't forget.
Oh,
right?
Don't forget. Yeah.
别 is a very useful word when you are trying to sort of negate the other person's suggestions or try to change their ideas. For example, 别买了, don't buy it.
别买了. Okay. So you just kind of slide a verb in there if you want to tell somebody not to do something, right?
Yeah. You had a verb followed 别 and then means don't do it.
So if I want to tell somebody don't sleep, if I say 别睡觉了.
Yes, 别睡了.
Oh, 别睡了. Okay. So 别去了. That means like don't go, right?
Yeah, 别去了, don't go.
So 别吃了，非常辣.
Yeah, 别吃了，非常辣. Don't eat it, it's too spicy. It's perfect.
Okay. 别喝了，这个是白酒。
别喝了，这个是白酒. It's the Chinese liquor, which can be very spicy, burning as well.
I think in English we wouldn't say spicy, we would say it's very strong.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, in Chinese, we would refer to the very strong liquor as 辣 as well, as spicy as well.
Really?
Yeah. Because it burns, just like you eat a lot of chilies.
In a way, yeah, I can see why that works. But in English, that would be kind of funny if you said that.
Spicy liquor. 辣, 太辣了.
Okay. I think I can understand that. How about don't talk if you're talking to your child, right? And you want to tell them don't talk. How do you say that?
别说了.
Oh, don't say. Okay.
Don't say.
别说了. It's the same. Huh? So say and talk, it's different, or it's the same in Chinese?
Well, we have to look at case by case. Well, depends on the sentence, on the context you want to use. 说. I think that's why for many Chinese students, when they are trying to learn English, they kind of struggles when to use speak, when to use say, when to use talk. 说 is kind of a very general way that can refers to all of the English ways of saying speaking or saying or talking.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have to look at it case by case. Another point I think will be interesting to point out is about the way to use 先 and 在.
Okay.
Remember in the long sentence from the dialogue, when they first go to this line of the subway, then to that line of the subway, which is kind of confusing because there are different 在's here and there.
Right, there was 在. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's very confusing. But the word 在 that I want to talk about is basically means then, which means they kind of have a sequence for actions or events. First, something happened, then something else happened, which is 先在 in Chinese.
So then when you're listing something in some type of sequential order, you would say first and then.
Yeah.
Right? So then, so 先. So if you want to say first, I came to work, then I went to sleep. Let's just use that as an example.
先工作再睡觉.
Oh, wow. That was... You don't need to say 我工作到了. We don't need to say that?
We can, but that would be making the whole sentence very long, complicated.
Okay.
The simpler way would be 我先工作再去睡觉. I first go to work, then I go to sleep.
Okay. 我先工作再睡觉.
Yes. Or I think it's a sentence that can be used on the kids all the time. Like 先洗手再吃饭. A sentence I use on a daily basis to my kid. Wash your hands first and then eat the dinner.
Okay. That makes sense. And then earlier we were talking about tickets.
Yeah.
So 你先买票再进去.
Yes. 你先买票再进去. Buy the ticket first and then go inside.
Oh, okay. This is actually quite useful. Just have to, of course, practice it a little bit.
Yeah, of course. For people who want to travel to big cities, can be very confusing of the different lines in the subway. Sometimes people are giving out directions on how to get there, taking different lines of the subway. Have to remember that 先 and 在 would be very useful to figure out you should take which line first and then to another line so that you are not be getting lost in that whole network of subway lines.
So when we use 先, does it need to be first or we can mix it up? Because I noticed when you told your child to wash their hand, it was 先洗手再吃 or 吃饭, right?
Yes, yes.
And then in the next sentence, when we're talking about buying the ticket, it was 你先买. So can we say 先你买票 and then 再进去?
Well, no, we have to have the pronouns before 先. 你先,我先,他先. We can't really say 先, then the pronoun, and then the verbs. That would be very confusing. That doesn't really make sense in Chinese.
Okay, so then if we remove the pronoun completely and we just say 先买票 and then 再进去.
Yes.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so if we remove the pronoun, then the 先 is first.
Yes. If you want to have the pronouns, then the pronouns would go to the beginning of the sentence before 先.
So another sentence, if you want to say you need to do your homework first before watching TV, right? Or then watch TV, then we can say 先做作业 and then 再看电视.
Yes, 先做作业,再看电视.
Okay, but if we use a pronoun, then it's 你. Can we just say 你先做作业? Or do we need to say 你要?
你要 kind of means to indicate that the action you will do in the future. And I think it both make sense by saying 你先做作业 and 你要先做作业 kind of means very similar things. And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei with Tony Reid here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can listen to the show and read the script there.
Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and much more. Just search for Takeaway Chinese, and don't forget to leave your comments, questions, and ratings.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
再见.